We have all heard the expression, "I don't have money," used frequently by people who occasionally even have high monthly incomes and good salaries. Why does this happen? Because it sometimes appears like we have less money the more we work. This is a distinction that we will cover in detail in today's video. In fact, we can even boil down personal finances to this one fact. If you grasp today's key idea, you will already be ahead of most people in terms of financial literacy. Please hit the like button if you thought the video's concept was good. Most people set aside money for their monthly budget based on their income. So if they get $2,000, they already envision having $2,000 to spend. This occurs when they don't use loans, credit cards, or other methods that lead them to spend more than their salary. If we have an income of $4,000, for example, and assume we can spend it all because we'll get it again next month, that doesn't mean we actually have money. It just means we have an amount that comes in, gets transferred to our bank account, and then disappears. In other words, we don't actually have any money. People who live this way will always be at risk from unanticipated events or occurrences because earning and having money are two very different things. For example, one person may make $10,000 a month and spend it all as if there were no tomorrow, while another person may receive $5,000 and save $2,000 each month for investments. Over time, who would be better off financially sticking to these same financial habits? That's precisely why, in order to protect ourselves from serious financial issues, we must comprehend this basic idea of finance and economics, which is the distinction between flow and stock. Going back to the $10,000 monthly example, this is the flow, or the amount of money that comes into your account each month. Now, let's picture the flow as a faucet that drips money when it is opened. But where does all of this flow go? Consider a hypothetical container that could theoretically hold this flow, which we'll refer to as stock. If someone makes $10,000 a month and spends it all, the container would leak because the flow enters and exits without any stock, destroying any of the received material. Consider a person with a $5,000 monthly income. They would have $5,000 in flow, and if they could save an additional $2,000 per month for investments, they could create a $2,000 stock. The great thing about stocks is that they appreciate in value over time. For instance, if a person saves $2,000 a month for 10 months, they will already have roughly $20,000 worth of stocks, and that's before they factor in the returns on their investment. Therefore, it is evident that saving your monthly income consistently is necessary to gradually increase the stock. Of course, we also need to concentrate on increasing the flow or our income, because if you already have this mindset of flow and stock, you will be able to save more as well, increasing the stock and not just the flow, because increasing the stock is essential. Still, you may be asking yourself, why should I keep saving money? The answer isn't to hoard it and be able to tell people that you're rich. Rather, it's to be reasonably well off with our personal finances. It's crucial to have money invested in an emergency fund, or in other words, to have your stock. I'm sure that on some months, you thought that the money you received would cover everything you needed, but because of unforeseen circumstances, you had to use credit cards or even loans to supplement your income and end up spending more than you earned. But wait, just because you have an emergency fund doesn't mean you have to spend it on clothes, vacations, or parties every time you feel like it. As the name implies, this fund is meant to be used for genuine emergencies, such a medical emergency or a car repair gone wrong. With the reserve in place, you'll have the flow, which is your income, and you'll also have the stock, which is the reserve. If you only have income, you don't have money because you only have flow. For instance, in this case, you tap into this reserve. It's recommended that you have 6 months' worth of your cost of living in this reserve. After you have a designated emergency fund, you can begin making larger investments with an eye toward financial independence, such as equities and real estate funds. For instance, pay attention to the long term and reaping rewards gradually. The book Rich Dad, Poor Dad also discusses this matter of flow and stock. At first glance, Robert Kiyosaki's statement that what matters isn't how much money you earn, but how much money you keep may seem meaningless because people have always talked to each other about how much money they earn, rather than how much they spend. We're used to only seeing the earning side of things, always curious about how much a celebrity makes and thinking about how nice it would be to earn twice as much as we do now. However, you may be thinking that someone who earns a lot of money doesn't even need to have a reserve and save money. However, if your sole source of income is spending, regardless of the quantity, you will never be able to save more money. It's similar to the faucet and bucket example, where having a large flow is pointless. A leaky bucket won't hold anything, but naturally, a person who makes $100,000 per month, for instance, and lives with that amount, enjoys a very high level of living with a fantastic home, fantastic automobiles, and everything else. But without any reserve at all, just flow. And before anyone remarks, a person making $100,000 a month can easily save a sizable amount of their income, possibly even 50%, for investments and live well on the remaining 50%. Indeed, but let's get back to the reality for most people. Someone who makes $2,000 a month and manages to save $500 is going to be in a much better financial position than someone who makes $4,000 a month and lives on flow alone. That is, without any stock. With all of this knowledge, we realize that we do need to earn well. That is, increase income flow or even create new sources of income. Because the more we make, the more we can save, which will ultimately lead to an increase in stock. Especially if we do this every month. It's about always living a step below your salary with less than you receive. As I always discuss on the channel, balance is key, which is why it's important to understand the difference between flow and stock. Over time, we can increase the stock and thereby receive income from that invested wealth from that stock that we accumulated over the years, increasing your monthly income. As we've already discussed in this video that seems to resonate with you, never spend everything you earn, but you also don't need to create a paranoia about counting every penny. Stated differently, your flow isn't that insane because you can produce more income streams by increasing the stock, which entails investing more money. The money that drips into your account is your flow, so the stock will also create new flows. Furthermore, compound interest accelerates the entire process, so the earlier we begin investing, the better, especially when it comes to witnessing the power of compound interest in action. We hope you found this investing tutorial informative and helpful in expanding your knowledge of investment strategies. Remember, successful investing requires continuous learning and adaptability to market changes. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about investing, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends who are also interested in finance, and subscribe to our channel for future tutorials and valuable insights. Thank you for watching and happy investing. In conclusion, mastering financial education is not as complex as it may seem. By breaking down concepts into simple and actionable steps, anyone can develop a strong understanding of personal finance and make informed decisions about their money. Remember, financial literacy is a lifelong journey, so don't be discouraged by initial challenges. Take advantage of resources like this tutorial to empower yourself with the knowledge needed to achieve your financial goals. If you found this video helpful in simplifying financial education, please consider liking and sharing it with others who may benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tutorials and tips on mastering personal finance. Together, let's continue to learn, grow, and build a brighter financial future.